So when can you say you know a language? I say I know 20 languages. What does that really mean? I often get criticized because I'm obviously much better in some languages than other languages. I was thinking about this because I had a conversation just a couple of hours ago with my Turkish tutor, and actually I didn't do too badly in Turkish. We discussed Turkish history, we discussed the situation in Turkey, the economy, quite a variety of subjects. Of course I made a lot of mistakes, but I notice that I'm getting better every time I speak because I'm putting so much effort into my listening and reading. I'm getting a better sense of the grammar, things that I didn't notice the first time, I notice them now. So then I thought to myself, at the present moment, if I look at my 20 languages, Turkey is already in the second group just because I've been refreshing it for the last 6-7 weeks. So if I look at my 20 languages, I would divide them into 3 groups in terms of my level. The first group, first 7 languages would be English, French, Japanese, Mandarin, Spanish, Swedish, German. Those are languages that I feel quite comfortable speaking. I may make mistakes, but I have a large vocabulary. My accent isn't too bad. I manage. Call it either just something less than or something more than B2. The second group of languages are languages where I can communicate, I can understand movies to a large extent, not perfectly, and these are Italian, Portuguese, Cantonese, Russian, Ukrainian, and I would add in now Persian and Turkish. Even though those are 2 languages that I've been going at recently, I have conversations with my tutors in both Persian and Turkish. So I am better at those languages. So maybe I'm a B1, in some of them getting closer to B2. Certainly I have a large passive vocabulary in all of those languages. I think what's missing is that I have to speak them more often in order to be able to speak them better. But I can read, I can listen to radio programs, and with the help of Link, I can work my way through what they're saying. So it's not a completely foreign language to me. Then the third group are languages that I had that sort of B1 type level at some point. I have a large passive vocabulary, but I could not try to speak it now. But I could very quickly revive them, believe. And these are Korean, Greek, Romanian, Czech, Polish, Arabic. So I'm talking tens of thousands of words that I know and ability to read. I can read, Twitter feeds in Czech, no problem. But if I had to try to speak, it would take me, whether it's 2 days or 3 or 5, something along those lines. When I was in Korea and I was able to get into conversations with people over the dinner table, it was fine. So those are, I would almost call them dormant. So they right now are something less than B1, but in terms of potential are in that between B1 and B2 range. So can I say that I know 20 languages? When we know people, we don't know everything about people that we know. We know some well, we know some less well. We have gotten to know people. And I think it's in that sense that when I say I know 20 languages, I know something of 20 languages. In fact, I know quite a bit because I understand how the structure of the language works, even though I can't produce it correctly all the time, some of the time, most of the time. I have a large passive vocabulary. It's not like I know nothing about them. My vocabulary level in all of those languages is close to B2 because I have a major emphasis on comprehension and vocabulary rather than speaking. I'm not drilling myself in simple conversation. So to that extent, I can say I know 20 languages. And it all reminds me of the video that I once did called Learning a Language is Like Falling in Love. And it's true. And I will leave you a link to that article, which was on my blog. And it basically says that to do well in learning a language, you have to fall in love with the language while you're learning it. Ideally, you focus on the one language, and that was my mistake with doing 3 languages, Persian, Arabic, and Turkish at the same time. Right now, I'm focused on Turkish. I love my Turkish. It's like when you're in love, you're obsessed with the object of your love and all of their, features and characteristics and behavior patterns. And even if there are some behavior patterns that irk you, that doesn't bother you. You're not judgmental about the sort of object of your love. By the same token, as I said in the article, the language doesn't judge you. So it's a very easy relationship. You just love the language. You want to imitate the language, which in a sense is the highest form of loving something, is that you want to be like the object of your love. And, you can then move, like I can have an affair with Turkish right now. I can move on, and I've still got my other girlfriend, which is Persian or Arabic, waiting in the wings, and I might get interested in another language at some point, and all of that is fine. But I can't possibly maintain them all. I don't have enough time in the day to be speaking to people in all of these different languages. Now, obviously, the more opportunity I've had to speak these languages, the better I speak them. And many of these languages I learned before Link and had plenty of opportunity, whether hitchhiking in Spain or traveling in Germany while on business there, to speak those languages. However, with those languages that are in my first group, and particularly languages that are in the second and third group, you can see from my statistics at Link that I have a very large passive vocabulary. And even languages like German or Spanish or Swedish or even Danish, which I didn't even include, not to mention Ukrainian, Czech, Polish, Korean, over 90,000 known words in Russian. The passive vocabulary is there, and even if through lack of opportunity to use them, I have trouble speaking them, I consider I know them. I have gotten to know them, I know them, and I can go back to them. And I think it's important that we recognize that all of us learn languages for different reasons. We learn them to different degrees of proficiency. For some of us, it's very important to be able to speak well, even with a limited vocabulary, because we live surrounded by the language. We have to communicate. In my case, for example, with my Turkish, I focus in on input to improve my comprehension. And now I'm starting to speak more and more so that by the time I go to Turkey, I will be able to communicate. So because Turkey is now the most recent object of my affection, let me see if I can say some things in Turkish. Bir süre önce hocamla konuşma vardı. Çok ilginç bir sohbet. Tarih hakkında, çok fazla şey hakkında. Ben tabii ki hatta çok fazla yaptım ama çok iyi vardı. And seviyem daha çok konuşabilirsem Türkçe'de bir video yapacağım. And görüşürüz. All right, there you have it. Basically, I said that, I had a chat with my teacher a little while earlier. We talked about a variety of subjects, including history, and in fact, we talked about a great deal of things. I managed quite well, but I made a lot of mistakes. Turkish verbs are quite difficult. But as I improve, and if I improve, I will do a longer video in Turkish with subtitles so you can judge how well I have engaged with the latest object of my affection. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.